Good evening. Hello and welcome. It's the world's largest school feeding scheme, but the shocking midday meal deaths in Bihar have raised a political controversy and troubling questions whether corruption and poor management are to blame for the poor state of the midday meal program in some parts of the country, or whether the children were intentionally poisoned to discredit the Nitish Kumar government. That's the big story that we've been tracking all day. It's our top focus tonight. The big headline on India at 9. The midday meal horror in Bihar. 22 children are dead, many still critical. The Nitish Kumar government now hints at a political conspiracy. Says pesticide was found in the cooking oil. Nitish's opponents say his claims of good governance stand exposed tonight. While the tragedy in Bihar highlights glaring lapses, there are some success stories too. Akshay Patra Foundation serves nutritious food to nearly 14 lakh children in government schools across the country. Can the midday meal scheme be rescued? We'll raise the big question, are midday meal deaths a blot on Nitish's model of governance? That's our big talking point coming up here on India at 9. That's not all. There's plenty more in our other headlines tonight. The Supreme Court refuses to reduce the age of juveniles from 18 to 16 years, dismisses a plea that minors involved in grave crimes should not be protected under the law. Commenting on Narendra Modi is risky business after the BJP ousts Amir Raza Hussain for criticizing Modi in an interview to CNN-IBN. BSP sacks MP Vijay Bahadur for praising the Gujarat Chief Minister. The big other question, is the political class today hit by Modi phobia? We'll raise that too tonight on India at 9. The government and the Supreme Court clash over the CBI again. The Apex Court says a CBI director shouldn't take up a job post-retirement. The government claims that's not acceptable. A major setback for India Inc. ArcelorMittal drops its plan for a 50,000 crore steel plant in Odisha over delays in buying land and mining leases. It's the single biggest pullout of a foreign investment. Top Bangladeshi Islamist Ali Hassan Mohammad Mojahid is sentenced to death for 1971 war crimes 48 hours after another Islamist leader was given life imprisonment. And Ricky Ponting stirs a controversy by rating Brian Lara above Sachin Tendulkar, says the West Indian batsman won more matches for his team than the Master Blaster. But first tonight, the terribly sad story of children who went to school but never returned. 22 children have now died in Bihar Chhapra after consuming the midday meal in school yesterday. Many others are still in a critical condition. Angry parents were out in the streets today, as were politicians. The Bihar government is calling it a political conspiracy, saying it was an attempt to destabilize the government by serving contaminated food. Prabhakar Kumar has our top story tonight.
Shock and anger on the streets of Chhapra. And this is how people vented out. Police vehicles were torched, cars were burnt, and traffic blocked on several roads. Chhapra district was literally on fire today after the deaths of over 20 children who allegedly died due to food poisoning.
17 बच्चों की लाशों को देख के यहाँ मातमी माहौल हो गया। इस कारण पब्लिक बहुत उग्र हो गई। मैं देखा जो बच्चे मेरा गिर रहा है सब, मैं दौड़ा पार्क में सही खा लगे गिरा।
Chahita Devi is shattered. She has lost 2 of her grandchildren in this incident. Both had just started going to school a week back.
After having the midday meal, the children held their stomach in pain and started throwing up.
Chahita Devi's family is one of the 25 families affected by this tragedy. And what's made it worse is the state government's slow reaction, which has also given opposition parties a chance to target Nitish Kumar.
The Chief Minister of Bihar, even without knowing the final figure how many people have died, and people are still dying, he has announced an ex gratia pay. He is not concerned about saving the lives of the children.
सरकार नाम की चीज नहीं रह गई है बिहार में। ये आपस में बीजेपी और ये दोनों पार्टनर आपस में लड़ रहे हैं। राम भरोसे बिहार के लोग को छोड़ दिया गया है।
A government probe is on, and JDU's education minister said that the cooking oil was contaminated with pesticide. He also went on to say that this was a political conspiracy.
उनके सांस से जिस प्रकार की दुर्गंध आ रही है, उससे स्पष्ट है कि ऑर्गेनिक फास्फोरस का उपयोग हुआ है और भोजन में ऑर्गेनिक फास्फोरस की मात्रा है जिसके खाने से बच्चों की मृत्यु हुई है।
Responsibilities will hopefully be fixed soon, and maybe those responsible will be taken to task. But what these families have lost can never be compensated. With Prabhakar Kumar in Chapra in New Delhi, this is Sanjeev Mukherjee.
Okay, just a short while ago, I spoke to P.K. Shahi, Education Minister of Bihar. I began by asking him about that allegation that he had made, that the children had been poisoned and this was part of a larger political conspiracy. Was he sticking to the stand that political opponents had poisoned the children for political gain? Listen in.
I have not said in the manner in which you are asking the question. Rather, I have said that there are materials, inputs which have come to my notice indicates that some people connected with a particular political party are related to the headmistress who was in charge of the school supervising serving of meal.
Mr. Shahi, effectively you are saying, and you have said it in your press conference, that the school principal, the headmistress, had political links, and you are hinting at the RJD and its leader Prabhunath Singh. Everyone got the message clearly in your press conference. Prabhunath Singh defeated you in the last election. Now you are saying that the headmistress's husband is close to Prabhunath Singh and the headmistress poisoned the children. That was the implication of what you were saying today.
I'm not saying that way. What I'm saying is that the children who are admitted in the hospital, they have narrated that when the meal was served and vegetable was not found up to mark, they complained and then they were chastised to consume. Not only that, the cook also said that the oil does not seem to be all right. Then she was told that it is all right and therefore it should be used for cooking the vegetable. You
are suggesting though, sir, that the headmaster forced the cook to give food to the children and her husband is close to a political leader. I'm going to harp on this because I want clarity from you. Are you saying that there was a political conspiracy in the manner in which these midday deaths occurred? Yes or no, sir?
Again, I am saying that I didn't say that way. I am not saying that the headmistress coerced. It is the children and the cook who have narrated that they were asked to eat the cooked meal. The cook pointed out about quality of oil and she was told that the quality is all right, and then the food was cooked and thus it was consumed by the children.
Sir, even before the post-mortem report has come, you are suggesting that organic phosphorus has been used. You are suggesting that the children have been poisoned. Let's be clear. Politics is being played now over this incident in Bihar. Instead of looking after the children and the families, what we are finding is politics is being played out, sir.
Rajdeep, I have not said that. Please. What I said is that the doctors who attended on ailing children, they were tentatively of the view that the body of the odor coming out of the body of the children, the breath and the vomitances, they strongly indicate presence of phosphorus substance.
Sir, I'm going to ask you, isn't the truth that the midday meal scheme in Bihar is simply not up to the mark? That unlike other states, Bihar hasn't measured up to the midday meal scheme. So is it about a political conspiracy to tarnish the image of the government, or simply that Bihar's record of the midday meal scheme is just not good enough?
I would say that I am no one to reach to that conclusion. It is for the investigating agency to reach to any particular conclusion on the basis of evidence which they collect. However, the facts which have come to my notice, I have only put before the state through media that these are the facts.
So effectively you are saying that all this is being done to tarnish the image of the government. I am going to ask you, don't you think your responsibility as education ministers to improve the quality of the midday meal scheme in Bihar? Shouldn't that be your focus? Or do you believe all this is a conspiracy to tarnish the image of your government?
No, there is nothing wrong with midday meal scheme, Rajdeep. This is a solitary incident, unfortunately, which has resulted in death of 22 children. In the past, we have received complaints of different nature, deficiency of quality, etc. But for the first time, poisonous food has been served. Therefore, I would not conclude, I have not reached to the conclusion that midday meal is not working properly in the state of Bihar.
Okay, that was P.K. Shahi speaking to me earlier, trying to defend his role of this government. Meanwhile, there's more grim news now coming in because 15 children have also fallen ill in Madhubani, again in Bihar. Once again, after eating their midday meal schemes at a government school, they were rushed to the hospital. Doctors saying that 2 children are in a critical condition. Sources now saying a lizard was found in the food that was being served. Midday meal mess in Maharashtra too, 31 students falling sick at a government school in Dhule after the meals. Now let me take you, before we turn to our talking point, to a citizen journalist, Chaitanya, a student who highlighted the dismal state of affairs when it comes to midday meals in government schools in Andhra Pradesh. He reported this story in 2011, but it is instructive as to what is going wrong in some parts of the country with the scheme. Look at it.
I am Chaitanya, a student and a citizen who is concerned about the apathy of the government towards the midday meal scheme in Andhra Pradesh. Today we have a look at a couple of government schools in Hyderabad where we see that this right of these children is being compromised due to ignorance and corruption.
While government guidelines provide for procurement from Food Corporation of India, it doesn't take into account the need for storage facilities. As such, guinea bags find their way into classrooms.
As you can see, this is the most common sight in most of the government schools in Andhra Pradesh, where cooking goes on in the classrooms. The government seems to be spending crores of rupees on developmental activities. I want to question the authorities. Isn't this cooking with the cylinder in the classroom endangering the lives of children?
Across Hyderabad, government schools are in a dismal state.
ये फूड ग्रेन्स कहाँ स्टोर होता है?
उनके घर में होता है, क्योंकि इधर एक बार ये कुक के घर, क्योंकि
पर रूल के मुताबिक यहाँ
होना चाहिए, क्योंकि एक बार दरवाजा तोड़ के चावल पूरे लेकर गए.
We then tried to take a closer look at the condition of the kitchen here.
As you can see, we are in one of the kitchens of this government school. As the cook herself points out, this kitchen is very unfit for cooking and hygiene is compromised.
More than 500 crores have been allocated in the state budget to supply good nutritious food to young children. What they get is watery sambar and rice. Even basic facilities like drinking water and toilets are missing.
This is the same scenario with most of the government schools that we have visited today.
This is CJ Chaitanya for CNN IBN.
Let's raise the big question. Are midday meal deaths a blot on Nitish's model of governance, or do they indicate a systemic rot in the way the scheme operates? That's the big question that we are raising tonight on India at 9. Joining me now, special panel, I'm joined by Pavan Verma, who is cultural advisor to Nitish Kumar. He joins me from Patna. Uday Singh is BJP MP. TSR Subramaniam, former cabinet secretary with us. Madhav Chavan, co-founder, CEO of the noted NGO Pratham that works on primary education. And Nikhil De, convener NCPRI and member of the Right to Food campaign. Appreciate all of you joining us here on India. And I want to come to you, Pawan Verma, because your education minister, PK Shahi, has made a serious allegation on the program tonight. You might have heard him saying that, suggesting that the school principal's husband was close to a prominent leader from the RJD and organic phosphorus was found in the food, insinuating, although he denies it, that the children were deliberately poisoned by the school principal. Is the Nitish Kumar government today accusing your opponents, especially Lalu, of poisoning children for political advantage? Is that what this story is now coming down to?
Rajdeep, I heard Mr. PK Shahi.
Yes.
I think he was trying to deny the kind of response you were putting him to give. But I think the truth of the matter is that investigations are on. The forensic science laboratory report is awaited. It seems from all the evidence that we have so far that this is not an ordinary case of food poisoning. This is a case of poisoning. Now, if it happens in one school at one time, when 73,000 schools in Bihar are serving a midday meal to almost 2 crore children, you must understand that Bihar is implementing one of perhaps the nation's largest such midday scheme. It has had its own advantages. Enrollment has gone up to 65%, and it has worked successfully in many cases, although obviously there is scope for improvement. But this is the first case where there is evidence that it's not a case of food poisoning, but that a poisonous substance has been used, leading to deaths.
So you're also saying the same thing. You are effectively saying that the children were poisoned.
Rajiv, let me complete, please. I beg of you.
Yes.
I'm saying it's a very tragic incident, but we must all wait for the investigations to complete themselves.
I would like the Janata Dal United and the RJD to wait. I would like both the main parties of Bihar to wait, because they are fighting a battle on the street. That's the sad part at the moment. You're saying this in the studio, but that didn't stop the education minister at a press conference from suggesting that the children were poisoned.
I think that the education minister, when he was talking to you, was trying to say that he did not make a direct allegation, but the evidence has revealed some kind of information, which I believe is premature. If you are asking me, I believe is premature. We must wait, as he himself said, for the investigations to complete themselves. The important point is that this is a tragedy. It is a tragedy of a major welfare scheme of the government.
I take that point.
We need to draw lessons from it.
I'll come to the lessons in a moment, but Uday Singh of the BJP, respond to what we are hearing, because within minutes of the incident, BJP leaders were calling for Nitish's resignation. Lalu calls for a Chhapra Ban. We have protests on the street. The allegation is being made that politics is now being played in Bihar over the dead bodies of children, which is the worst thing that you can possibly do.
Rajdeep, to begin with, my sympathies, my heartfelt sympathies towards the families of those who've lost their near and dear ones. This is absolutely no time to have any kind of politics over this terrible tragedy. But let me tell you that what the JDU has been saying, with all respects that I have for Mr. Verma, what the JDU has been saying is not only preposterous, it's unfortunate and despicable. I mean, what are they trying to say? That some persons for political gains would go and poison children. Now, I would beseech you, Rajdeep, to turn this debate into something that you've already tried to do. You've showed us the Chaitanya clip.
No, I'm going to come to that. No, I'm going to come to that, because my worry is that politicians in studio appear extremely sober, restrained and responsible. The moment you all go out of the studio, we see the kind of scenes we are seeing in Bihar. Do you concede, Mr. Uday Singh? Do you concede, Mr. Uday Singh, this is not a time to play politics?
not only is it not a time to play politics, it is a time to get down to what happened. And let me just complete what I was saying.
Yes.
The Bihar model of development, even while we were a part of it.
Yes.
And I, for one, as a member of parliament, have said this publicly.
Yes.
At a public rally attended by lakhs of people. Mr. Nitish Kumar has perfected the art.
Yes.
Of inclusive, institutionalized corruption. The corruption levels in Bihar are unparalleled, and the midday meal scheme is just one of the victims of the kind of corruption that exists in Bihar. Let us not mince words. I mean, it is a situation which is indescribable. Of the thousands of schools in my constituency where I have conducted raids, Rajdeep, more than 50% of the students reject the midday meal scheme given to them.
Let's
and
be
Mr.
clear.
Sahi, I heard him say.
Let's be clear. One terrible incident has taken place in Chhapra. Let's not throw out the baby with the bathwater and say the midday meal scheme is completely a terrible scheme, is with what is institutionalized corruption, as you seem to be suggesting.
I am suggesting, I am standing by it.
Okay,
and I'm saying that I will show this to anybody who wants to see it.
Let me take that to Pawan Verma. Pawan Verma, here you've got the BJP, which was ironically part of your government till a month ago, now seems to find every fault in the Nitish Kumar government. But will you also concede that an incident like this does cast a shadow over Bihar's claim of good governance? While NSSO figures, ironically, only today show that Bihar has registered the sharpest decline in poverty in the last decade among any Indian states. Figures that I have obtained through HRD ministry today do suggest Bihar and Jharkhand are the worst performing states when it comes to implementing the midday meal scheme. National average is 90% of children enrolled. In Bihar, you are still struggling around 50%.
That's on
Rajdeep, to respond to someone whom I also respect, Mr. Uday Narayan, he said, but I'm reminded of a quick quote, dost ban ke mile mujhko mitane wale. Here was the BJP, a partner with this government, and an alliance for 17 long years. It's been hardly a month since they left, and they are making a claim that it is the most institutionalized corruption, where under the leadership of Mr. Nitish Kumar and their partnership, Bihar registered for 5 consecutive years the highest growth rates. Everybody sees a transparent transformation in the state from what it was become during 15 years of Lalu Yadav's rule. You yourself just said that more people have been redeemed from below the poverty line during this period than ever in any other state in India. So let's be a little restrained. I say this is a tragedy what has happened in Chhapra. It needs for the central government, which is a partner with the state government in implementing the scheme, to review it. Because when you implement welfareism on such a large scale, there are bound to be occasions when you will see that the scheme trips up. What is amazing is that in spite of 2 crore children in schools, more than the entire population of Hungary and Greece together, in schools today, with 73,000 schools implementing the midday meal program, there have not been such incidents. Although there is scope for improvement. But let's draw the right lessons. For instance, I'll say to you, the state government has said in the past that they would prefer a cash transfer scheme. That implementing a midday scheme like this, midday meal scheme like this, has its own pitfalls. We've got to derive the right lessons. But this is a tragedy, and let's not play politics on it.
Both of you are saying let's not play politics, and yet I always find these debates end up as JDU versus BJP. I want to step back for a moment from the politics. TSR Subramaniam, former cabinet secretary, let me step back and ask you the big question. Midday meal scheme, a unique scheme, started by Kamraj in many ways in the 60s, built by MGR in Tamil Nadu. Today covers 12 crore children in 12.65 lakh schools across India, 1.43 crores in Bihar alone. Can the government handle a scheme of this magnitude, or because of the sheer size, is the government machinery collapsing? So what happened in Chhapra could today happen in any part of India?
It could well happen. It happened today in Bihar. This news could have come from anywhere in India. Unfortunately, I don't think it's a question of BJP or JDU or Lalu, or I think they're all in the same boat. Practically every state is the same. Having said that, This is a fantastic scheme. ASER reports have said our class 5 children are not up to class 2 level now. Nutrition levels in India, and this is one vehicle to give nutrition, iron, folic acid, etc., are sub-Saharan Africa levels now. So this program is a fantastically good program. Second question, should government do it? It's a modality mechanism. How it is to be done? It has to be done. This is in a poor country like India.
Do you believe the government must do it? Because as you've seen,
you are coming into operational issues.
No, hold on. I showed you a story of Andhra Pradesh. You saw the unhygienic conditions in government schools under which the cooking is taking place.
Coming to the point, Rajiv, it must be done. Government of India must cause it to be done.
Yes.
State government must cause it to be done.
Yes.
But not necessarily by the chief minister going and cooking there. He has got to organize institutional mechanisms by which it is done. The response I would have liked from the chief minister of Bihar would have been the following.
Yes.
And 4 announcements. In 15 days, a credible inquiry and responsibility will be fixed.
Yes.
Within 30 days, people concerned will not be suspended and reinstated after 3 months. They will be dismissed if required, right up to district level and higher, supervisory levels. Number 2, charge sheets will be filed within 1 month.
Because it could be mass murder. If they are poisoned, it's not little less than murder.
Though to my mind, it's a fantastic charge. It could well be true.
Yes.
Nobody can say what is true, what is not true.
Yes.
And lastly, I think the time has now come, instead of ministers talking through their hats before inquiries, should now take responsibility, moral responsibility, and resign, saying in my state 25 children have died, I take responsibility, he should quit.
You're saying the education minister should resign over this issue?
Resign because it's a lesson to everybody to say every district magistrate should now know that if one child dies through this program, he will be hauled up tomorrow. That's the kind of lesson we want. We don't want politicking on this which is going on. Sadly, even very senior other personnel are entering the same political arena.
No, I'm going to come to that political accountability question, but I just want to focus for a moment on the scheme. Madhav Chavan, you're with Pratham, which works with primary schools, and I want to get a sense from you. You may have seen our story showing the conditions in which government schools, some of these community kitchens are working. Now, if teachers are going to cook in the same room as the children, apart from teaching, they are expected to cook and provide for a large number of children. How do you monitor the quality of food that they are being provided? Has the entire emphasis been on numbers in getting children to enroll to schools, which has been a great triumph of the midday meal scheme, but quality and nutritional diet for the children remains a big issue?
Rajdeep, I have always said that enrollment of children has nothing to do with the midday meal scheme. When you say it's a triumph, I quite disagree. That has not happened. In most states, especially south of Vindhyas, more than 95% children were in school, even when there was no midday meal scheme.
Right.
As in, you said in Bihar, 50% children are getting midday meal, and the enrollment is 97% up. So I don't think enrollment has anything to do with that. Attendance, if you monitor attendance and say, has attendance gone up, then you will find that the children's attendance has not gone up. So linking midday meal scheme with enrollment is not quite right. I have not seen any serious evidence that can actually prove that. By correlation, people have said many things like this.
Right.
But having said that children have to be provided nutrition is correct. And my question is whether that midday meal scheme, the nutritional scheme, should be placed in the education department and the school at all. If there was a panchayat kitchen for children or for the others where this hot midday meal was cooked and provided to the children, then the teachers are free to do whatever the actual teaching things that they have to do. And now today I read in the news that these teachers have been slapped with negligence and all that. Actually, the teachers should not have that responsibility.
So who should do it?
What are we trying to do here? Teachers are supposed to look after children, cook for children.
Who should be ensuring? Who is responsible for ensuring hygienic community kitchens? Whose responsibility should it be?
I think it should be with the panchayat, and let rural development take it over, or Panchayati Raj take it over. It should not be with the school education department.
Okay, you're saying
education department has no business to do that.
Okay, education
you
department.
You can give it to women and child if you want.
Okay, you're saying take it out of the school authorities. But Nikhil De, as someone who works on the ground in several states, including in particular Rajasthan, do you get a sense also in this midday meal scheme today that there is a geographical divide? That the Bimaru states in particular have lagged well behind the Bihar, UPs, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh's. For example, I'm getting figures from Tamil Nadu that I was provided today. This year, they are not only are the children being provided eggs, but even a mango milkshake is being given to the students. Something which would be unheard of possibly in a state like Bihar. Do you get a sense that in a sense, the quality of the midday meal scheme will reflect the quality of overall social indices of a particular state?
Absolutely, and I think there is a geographical divide. If we have anything to learn, we have to learn from the south, not just Tamil Nadu, even Kerala, even Karnataka. And I think that the midday meal is a fantastic scheme. It is an irreplaceable scheme. It is an essential scheme. We will have many, many more children dying of malnutrition if we do not have this, and we will never be able to tackle malnutrition. I agree that we need to, and actually the kind of politics we need is a politics that says this scheme needs much more.
Does it mean much more in terms of funds?
It needs,
because there will be those who will turn around and say, look, the moment we put in funds, where will the money go?
No,
there will
but
be
the
corruption.
money in Tamil Nadu is not going elsewhere. It's going into the midday meal. And if we say, yes, it needs more money in terms of funds, it needs also much more attention in terms of accountability. It needs much better structures of delivery, including, I think, yes, certainly you can't have teachers involved in the cooking of midday meals. There can be many ways and means by which the midday meals cooks, for instance, could easily come from NREGA, where those workers who are being paid minimum wages could become cooks. But there are many ways in which we can make sure that accountability. Today, what has happened, whether or not it is an accident waiting to happen in places. It is a very serious matter, and that happens to do, it's the same story in construction of school buildings, which could collapse. It's the same story in terms of providing food or providing water facilities. We have to make sure where human life is involved, there will be checks. Instead of saying, what were the checks that were carried out here? Do we have any checks in place at all? Today we may hold someone to account, but how will we make sure this is not going to take place anywhere else?
I want to, in a sense, to tell our viewers, because the viewers need to get a sense. Many of them will never have to go through a midday meal scheme. Most of them don't go to government schools, because media reports that I've got again today say the allocated price, Mr. Subramaniam, is only 55 paise per child per day for breakfast. In Nalanda, one Anganwadi center gets a grand total of rupees 22.80 paisa each day to feed 40 children. I hope there are people out there seeing these figures. What does that suggest? I mean, this is an India which is perhaps completely in an area of darkness. How do you overcome this? Is it simply a fund problem?
It is also that.
It is also a fund problem.
No, it is not a fund problem, fund allocation problem. The funds is a high priority program. Funds must be allocated here. In a country where we want to give free food grains or subsidize for 75% of the people, we can't give to our children nutritious food.
So where does this leave, all the grand plans of the government? The sanction rates are 50 rupees a kg for pulses, 8 rupees per kg for seasonal vegetables, 8 rupees a kg, and 80 rupees a kg for edible oil. In these prices, how are you going to get quality nutritional food?
So it is a question of, number one, poor funding, poor organization, poor management, poor structuring, and poor supervision. And unless people down the line are punished, number one, plan better, manage better, sack a few people. Clearly, within these parameters, a much better job can be done. We cannot have the excuse that we have 70,000 and therefore 20 people will die. We cannot accept that. We have to know now what precautions were there. Did everyone do his job properly? What were the job responsibility? All of this has to come out.
And privatization is not the answer. There are many, many cases of private agencies who are providing pathetic food, and it's much more difficult to provide it from a distant area where you mass cook. It may
but
be
you've already
area.
got good examples, for example, like ISKCON, which is doing it through the NGO sector.
It's an urban area in one particular place. In many rural areas, we have also seen. So it's not an answer that you privatize completely. There is an answer for hot cooked food there managed properly.
I take your point because, I want to come back at the end of the day. What you're all suggesting, it's an issue at one level of governance. Pawan Verma, Nitish Kumar prides himself on his Bihar model of governance. And my worry sometimes is that the Bihar model of governance seems to ignore that there are large areas of darkness that still exist in Bihar. The poor performing districts, I've just got it from the HRD ministry today, say Patna, Buxar, Gaya, Saran, Bhojpur, Nalanda, Rohtas, Siwan, Muzaffarpur, Kaimur, Buxar, Nawada are all poor performing districts in the midday meal scheme. What happens to this model of governance when something like this takes place? Would you concede that large part parts of Bihar still have an area of darkness. You still have a long way to go before you can claim that Bihar truly has a real model of governance.
You know, Rajdeep, let me answer this as quickly as I can. Bihar started from the rock bottom. Even today, in terms of its state indices, yes, it has the largest distance even to the national average.
Yes.
A gargantuan effort was made to pull the state up by its socks.
Yes.
First of all, by restoring even something taken for granted in other states, which is law and order.
Yes.
Paddy cultivation has grown by 55% in the last 2 years alone. So there was a new mini revolution planned in agriculture.
Yes.
Administration was brought onto the rails.
Yes.
The girl child scheme was started so that they go to school.
Yes.
Special attention was given to the Mahadalits and the extremely backward classes to bring them in part of the national mainstream.
Yes.
But coming back to the midday meal scheme.
Yes.
Now, Rajdeep, this is a scheme implemented in collaboration with the central government. 75% of the funds come from the center, 25% from the state. If the funding is poorer,
yes,
if there are not enough funds to implement a welfare scheme, as the other panelists have said, it requires a lot of
funds
attention.
Is only one part
of
it. Let's be clear, funds is only one part of it, because TSR Subramanian,
let me come to the second
just a minute,
point,
TSR Subramanian wants
to the second point.
Okay, go ahead.
Just let me complete, sir.
Yes, yes.
The point was made, for instance, about Tamil Nadu and the fact that they are giving far better and more nutritious food. I want to say to you, Rajdeep, please understand the compulsions of a state like Bihar.
Yes.
For 50 years after independence, its minerals were available cheaper in Tamil Nadu than in Bihar because of the freight neutralization policy.
Yes.
It was locked in a cycle of poverty. An attempt is being made to break out of it. By any yardstick, this model of governance has achieved results which would have been considered impossible 7 years ago. But there is much more to be done. There is much more to be done.
I'm glad you're at least conceding that.
That is why Bihar is asking.
At least you're conceding that.
Because that is why it's asking. That is why it's asking for special category status, so that private investment falls in. We get more concessional assistance in order to take it to the next stage of development.
I take your point. But part of governance also involves a little less politics. The problem at the moment in states like Bihar is politics is so polarized that it's impossible to achieve a political consensus on critical issues of health and education. You know, Mr. Uday Singh, you are saying there's institutionalized corruption in Bihar. It's probably there across the country in several parts. The point is, today when I see the kind of images across Bihar, a Bihar Bandh being called, you know, you get a sense that Bihar politicians are not interested in improving the education and health infrastructure. They are only interested in an election year. How do I get votes? It may be a national problem, but it's magnified in Bihar today because your politics is so polarized.
Incorrect, Rajdeep. Absolutely incorrect for you to come to that conclusion. Yesterday's incident was a terrible tragedy, and you cannot help people if they want to vent their anger, and you cannot help the political leaders from being present where their people are wanting to vent their anger. So I think to say that we are not interested in anything else but politics is wrong.
Okay.
Number two, very quickly, I'd like to say that while I agree with all the other panelists, I certainly do not agree with Mr. Verma, because funding is today not the problem in Bihar. I repeat again, it is where the funds are going. Unless you have an organization in place, unless you have a system in place, it is not only about this scheme, it is about any scheme that you can talk of. It's Indira Awas, it's social welfare measures. No schools in Bihar, really, have toilets to speak of, have drinking water facilities to speak of. So these are things which are systemic in nature.
Ironically, you have been in government for the last 6 years. Till last month, you were in government. So, for the last 8 years, actually.
Rajdeep doesn't matter. We are ready to take the responsibility. Okay. This is the situation.
Okay.
This is the ground reality. We cannot run away from this.
He's made a valid point, Rajdeep.
Yes.
The lack of infrastructure is a great inhibiting factor in order to improve the efficiency of implementation.
Okay.
Other states have already well-built schools.
Stop corruption.
Here you have schools where you are enrolling children.
Okay.
Where you are enrolling children and there is not even a proper infrastructure.
Okay, yeah. So Bihar is starting in a sense is well behind in this race of development. But let me give my other three panelists a chance for final comments on the big lesson, because there is a lesson to be learned from what has happened in Chhapra. And as Mr. Subramaniam said, today is Chhapra, tomorrow it could be any other part of the country. You first, Madhav Chavan, if there was one lesson that you believe could ensure a better midday meal scheme, an even better scheme, what would it be?
I think clearly people need to be oriented a little better. There is, wedding cooking going on in every village and somebody or the other cooks. But when you provide midday meals to the children in the school, it's a greater responsibility. I think people need better training on how to handle hygiene and so on. But I think, I still feel the biggest lesson should be take this out of the school. We saw the tragedy in Tamil Nadu when those the kitchens collapsed and all that. I think removing the midday meal scheme or distancing it from the school and letting somebody else handle it, some other department handle it, is, I think, going to be one important measure that the government will have to take.
TSR Subramaniam, what is, you spoke about coordination, organizing. What's the big lesson you believe that should be learned?
There are two or three very quick points I will make, Rajdeep. As I said, as you said, this could have happened anywhere in India. So not particularly about Bihar, number one. Number two, go to any tehsil, go to any thana, go to any rural hospital, you will find the same level of mismanagement. It's a national problem of governance, number two. Number three...
Is it governance or a government problem?
It's a governance problem. It's a governance of every party, nearly every state with variations. This is too critical, too crucial a program for us to give up. It's very, very important, as so many people have said. It has to be augmented, supported and strengthened. We have to find better ways of doing it. One last point. Mentally, we all think reforms means FDI, banking structure, interest rates. That is only 1% of reforms. Reforms is education, reforms is power sector, reforms is water supply, reforms is hospital. 95% of India, which is rural India, reforms, we don't think about it. This is clearly an area of a reform. Our focus is not, we have
reform in a sense, I get your point.
Reform in a sense that the finance sector, which affects 2% of the population, is reform in India. Because these 2% is India, other 98% don't matter.
Which is why I wanted to shock the audience in a sense by saying 55 paise per child per day for breakfast. As I said, rupees 22.80 paisa each day to feed 40 children. What does this tell us about India? What is the big lesson, Nikhil, in conclusion, that you believe needs to be learned to avoid Chhapra-like incidents?
It tells us that it's one of our most important programs. We all agree, every panelist, but it's the most important program. We give 55 paisa for breakfast. Can that program run? If it's important, we need to put more money. We need to put more attention into it. We need to have these debates.
You don't think more money will lead to more leakages?
No.
Because the fear is that more money leads to more leakages.
No, we need to actually in our education involve parents much more in the monitoring of all education entitlements, including food, which can be done, and we are seeing that those kinds of things can work. Finally, we need not only the politicians to have a different kind of politics, we need the media to look at midday meals consistently, not just when deaths take place, and say that this program, 55 paisa, won't do. This program, if someone's falling ill, won't do, so that those deaths don't take place, so that the program runs beautifully, and we say that this state is better than the other.
I think you put it well. It required a midday meal horror, a tragedy in Bihar for us to even make it the top story on India at 9. It reveals a lot about our media and perhaps the misplaced priorities that many of us have in this country at the moment. But Nikhil De, TSR Subramaniam, Madhav Chavan, Uday Singh and Pavan Verma, appreciate your joining us on our talking point tonight. Editor's take, where do we stand? If Chhapra's children have indeed been poisoned, it should be seen as no less than mass murder. Those responsible must face the stiffest punishment. But if politics is played over dead bodies, it must be strongly condemned. Let's not make this about Nitish's government and Bihar alone, or even use it to tarnish the entire midday meal scheme. Yes, the challenge is perhaps even greater in a backward state, but what happened in Bihar could happen just as easily in any part of the country. The midday meal scheme has been a great success in raising enrollment numbers in schools, but quantity needs to be matched by quality. We need best practices to be adopted across India, not just in a few states. There cannot be two Indias, one which thrives on conspicuous consumption, the other which still struggles to provide its children with a nutritious diet. Okay, let's